we'll be collaborating in a few areas. Number one is area of training, actually, to train the engineers, technicians for the housing projects. Right now, a lot of gaps in the for the expertise to develop, to build houses and all this. So we would like to collaborate with SHEDA on those training areas, and also we'll be collaborating with SHEDA on their events, the big events,
the Housing Expo.
Housing Expo.
Yeah.
Also, we will introduce the smart home concept to all the developers in Sarawak. So it'll be thousands of them, probably from the whole Sarawak, to introduce to them the smart home concept, the Google smart home concept, and how it can be done for Sarawak, basically. And I think thirdly, we'll be working on the smart home project, basically, with SHEDA. So they will give us the platform to work together, actually, to build a smart home for Sarawak. This is the future generation, you know. So we'll be the first month in Malaysia to do smart home, Google smart home, with SHEDA. So today is very exciting day for CENTEXS and our partners at SHEDA. So I want to thank you, SHEDA, also the President and also the Secretary General, for supporting this idea, because we believe that smart city start from the home. Okay, if the homes are smart, then the village is smart, the city will be smart. So that's bottom-up approach. So the technology is already with us at CENTEXS, and we're going to display that one later on in the few events that we share with SHEDA. Okay, so basically that's the key point. Okay, you want to add anything?
Yeah.
Yes, first of all, we would like to thank CENTEXS for giving SHEDA this opportunity to become a partner. The second thing is, as we all know, that the government's direction is going towards digitalization. So because of that, then that is the reason why we work together with CENTEXS, because CENTEXS can provide us with a whole ecosystem. The first thing is they offer the product and they can try and test it in the market. Okay. Second is because they also are able to train manpower. Let's say if you were to adopt it in a big scale, then they do also be able to provide us with manpower training, which at the present moment, this particular topic or this particular like smart home gadgets and stuff like that is not really, it's not in anybody's budget. Right, so they are able to provide us with the training as well. So when you've got training, when you've got people picking up the products, you've got in a big scale, and you have got trainers coming in, then you will be able to actually upgrade all our workers. Number one is all our workers will be able to learn and pick up new skills, okay, and expose themselves to things that is related to IoT, things that are related to M&E, things that is become a whole-rounder. So it is the first step towards exposing these people. Number one, we expose them via the homes, because smart got a house stay, right? So we try and get them to feed their houses, to do things of smart gadgets in their house. So that why? Because then they are used to it. The moment when you're used to something, then you will actually, you miss it, yeah? That kind of thing. So let's say if you've never used handphone before, will you miss it? You don't. But then the thing is, let's say if you spend a lot of time at home and you start using it, you get exposed to it, then you are beginning, then you will be able to feel the benefits of IoT and all those things. One of the benefits that we are actually looking at is really saving on energy and stuff like that. Because why? Because there are certain, like for example, certain features in smart home that can actually feel and say that, okay, for example, you want it to be 23 degrees, 24 degrees, and then if it actually falls below 23, 24, it goes to 18, meaning to say you're actually wasting energy. Because why? Because it's unnecessary to keep you comfortable. So when you actually, then they can automatically off until the energy level, until the degree, temperature has gone back up. And then that's when you're comfortable with. So therefore, the time when they actually automatically off and obviously you're saving energy. So we are teaching people to be energy saving, and then because of IoT, then you can actually achieve that kind of benefits. So in the long run, I think if the government is going towards a smart city, definitely we have to adopt no matter how, we have to start adopting it from home. Why home? Because we do understand that there is also people who are not exposed, especially the older generation, right? But then let's say we expose them daily at home, then they will get used to it, and they will say, hey, this thing works. It makes sense. Because otherwise, then how else are you gonna tell the older generation? How else are you gonna pull them into the into the society that is going to be future of smart society? So with the smart home, with our aspiration to a smart city, it needs to be supported, okay? With smart people who are exposed. How do you get these people smart? They need to be exposed to smart gadgets, and they need to adopt that smart gadgets as part of their lifestyle. So because of that, then SHEDA will say, okay, we will come in together with our partner, CENTEXS. So we find it very exciting, and hopefully we get support of not just our members, but other developers as well. And then of course, because we also have our mixed development and all this thing, and we actually hope that we'll actually jump onto the bandwagon, because I do believe that CENTEXS will actually give SHEDA being partners special rates and special discounts and stuff like that. So we will be able to start showcasing it during our expo in September. So look out for that, and we will be able we will be giving out maybe lucrative discounts during that period of time. So that's all for now. Thank you.
So any question?
Any target area pushing to be implemented first with smart city?
Okay, I think the target area is not per se target area, but it is more of getting people to be exposed and to accept the concept. As we've been hearing about smart homes, but who has adopted it in a big scale? Nobody has. However, today we would also like to announce that SHEDA, one of SHEDA's members, who is a developer of a street PGV house, and he said that yes, he will actually adopt this system for his all the new houses for street PGV. Because of that, we believe that there are also developers who are passionate about this, who are also passionate and wanted to give and let the society and impress from them and say, hey, this is the future. So with this, with this also, because why street PGV, and it's a very good news to everybody, is because this is the first time that in Malaysia, I do believe that the house or whole project for street PGV is going to be provided with smart gadgets and smart home. Meaning to say we are in line. SHEDA is very much in line, and SHEDA and SAKSIKAN is very much in line with the aspiration of the government that nobody shall be left behind. So thank you.
Yeah. So any more questions you want to ask us?
Question for SHEDA first. So what is the setup cost for implementing smart home?
Okay, the setup cost. So, okay, if you actually look at it, there are various packages. Okay, the first thing first is, do you want to set it up just a room, or do you want to set it up 2 rooms, or do you want to set up 3 rooms? So just now we've actually, we have actually done calculation. The very basic package. This is before discounted rates to SHEDA. Okay, very basic is, of course, as you know, Premier is very passionate about affordable housing, being 3 bedrooms. He was the one who actually started it when he was the Minister of Housing. So every house, regardless of the cost, it will be 3 bedroom. Okay, so with 3 bedrooms and everything else, the basic package is in the region of 5,000. 5,000. However, yes, it's very cheap. Okay, but however, because in the long run, it gives you a lot of savings, right? Okay, in terms of electricity and other things. Okay, plus on top of that, I do believe that maybe Shahril or Dr. Said would like to add to that as for example, I think they have a special package that you can actually get that is included in the tax deductible. Tax deductible. I think they will elaborate more on that.
Okay, actually for smart devices, right, in a room like this, for instance, you only need, number one is the Google speaker. okay, which costs around 130 ringgit only. You can buy from over the place, but we authorize those speakers that can be used. That's number one. Number two, you need the universal what they call this controller. That costs around 100 ringgit or 150 ringgit only. That we can use broadly. You can use Tuya Smart. You can use Magic Switch. You can use all these devices. Those are the sensors that can trigger the aircon and the lighting. You know? So number three, you need the smart switches. They can control a room like this. Smart switches. That costs around a gang of smart switches costs around 150 ringgit. So in a room like this, you spend less than 1,000. So if you talk about 3 bedrooms, right, plus your lounge and everything, less than 5,000. That's the cost of one smart TV. You know? Actually, in our technology, you can use Google Smart TV. You don't need to buy a smart TV. You can make it smart by putting Google device into it. At the back of it, 15 years ago, punya TV, you put Google inside, it becomes smart. You can use your gesture control to control the TV without remote control. You can use voice to control the TV, change channel, increase the volume. See, so you put all the best people in a room, you cannot beat Google, because Google has all the knowledge in the world. You use all the search engine, all Google search engine. Every data that you use is in Google. You can imagine the power of Google we want to bring to the homes. You cannot measure the AI that we put in the home when we introduce smart home. It's so fantastic for people. They become so knowledgeable. You ask anything, Google will answer you. Ask distance between the sun and the moon. You can answer those questions, can? What is the size of planet Saturn? You cannot answer those questions. Google can. This is the beauty of smart home. Not only about automatic gadgets and all this, but the knowledge that the world can bring to you in your home. That one you cannot pay. Okay, so this is what we're talking about here. So Google can measure distance. Google know how to speak bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Jepun, anything. And soon it'll have a Chinese version. It will have bahasa Indonesia version. You can have many versions. I think IBAN will come very soon. Yes. So we have to join the bandwagon already. When is the time? Now is the time. Okay. So it's not about. So the value of smart home, it's not about automatic. Everything I use a gesture control, shut off, kan? Open your gate, open your door. Everything you can do using voice. But that's not the only value. But brain of Google is in your home. That people can use for studying, people can use for, universities can use them for referencing and all this. You cannot beat Google because the brains of the millions of people on earth put inside one gadget. And that gadget now belongs to the home.
May I add?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you guys an example, okay? If you've got the smart system installed in a home, then what you do is you can even have your children learning languages. For example, Google, you call the name, whatever you want to call, Alexa, whatever. Fine. You ask them one question and you say, okay, how do you say, I want to eat noodle in Mandarin? Let's say, for example, if your children is actually learning Mandarin, right? Chinese. You ask it, then it will tell you, 我要吃面. They will tell you. So it's like you are having, like we always do Google search, and everything is there, right? So it's equivalent to you asking Google like this, and then they will give you answer immediately. So can you imagine when you're walking, when your kids are walking and everything else, they can ask Google that smart gadget question and they can be informed. You imagine how smart your children and how easily accessible it is information. It's just not even in the tip of your hand anymore. It's just a tip of your tongue. You just ask, they answer you. That's as good as that, right?
Google answer, I would go check out.
Anything that is in the Google is mostly the answer. Amazing. We tried even in Taiwan. Okay, so I said, okay, it's fine.
I'll give you an example. This one is Google in the phone. Hey Google, how do you say I love you in Japanese? Come again.
愛してます。
That's Japanese. Hey Google, how do you say how are you in Spanish?
In Spanish, that's ¿Cómo estás? By the way, I can now translate back and forth. To try it, just keep speaking in either language.
Yeah.
Or say cancel at any time.
So you can use Google to turn off the light. So basically, this is very powerful Google
Hola,
Home.
Google, ¿cómo se dice te amo en japonés?
Thank you, Google. I don't want to talk to you now. Thank you. So you can actually chat
If you
with,
ever want to use this again, just say, be my Spanish interpreter.
you can chat with him for months. Can sometime when we talk to people, people said, "Daddy, stop talking lah. Can you talk too much?" But Google never complain. You can talk for years with him. Chat. The old ladies love to chat. Kan? Google has it. So this is the kind of values that we want to bring to home. That you, if you have 5,000, is too cheap. Okay, we have two technologies. One that you see in our lab, which is the KNX technology. So KNX is a bit more expensive, because it's wired. So Google is wireless, so you don't need to use wires. But we have KNX system that if you want stability, use KNX system. But it's a bit expensive for a house, probably 30,000 ringgit. But if you use Google, it's only 5,000 ringgit. Plus you need a phone to control it. So it's very cheap. Yeah. Yeah. So in the text regime, right, you claim text, computer, and handphone. So it's a handphone accessories. So you can claim using text. Yeah.
So good news to houses, house owner who wants to get this installed.
Yeah.
You can actually deduct that cost in your yearly allocation of what we call smart gadgets too. So
Yeah.
there you go. You can some savings. And
Yes.
some benefit.
In Google, you see, a lot of people want to use this Google, but they don't know how to install. You see, it's not that simple to install because you have to install. Let's say one device is Broadlink device. You need to install a software, and you need to know how to calibrate. You need to. Then we can test on the account. So the installation is troublesome for most people. But if you already have it, it's very simple for you to use. You can command it from anywhere in the world. Turn off your gate, close your gate, turn on your light, wherever you are in the world you can do it. So like me, sometimes the ninja van came with the parcel, but I'm still in office. I said, okay, let me see the video in Google. I see my gate is closed. And I said, hey Google, open the gate. So Ninja come in, send the parcel, and I close the
What
gate.
do you want to open?
Nothing, Google. I'm just talking, okay?
Let's celebrate that we
This is it's a God-given technology. So we hope that you guys can, translate these words to the public so they know the benefit behind it. But you cannot buy this technology. Right? And we have been testing the gadgets for the last 2 years, and we know which one can work, which one doesn't work. So you cannot just simply buy from Shopee or Lazada. Some of them are not tested, some of them no certification, and so on. But we have tested a lot of gadgets, and like Akara, the one that you saw, gesture control, no voice required. You can control using this. That one we tested for the last few months. We have not authorized to use it yet. So SANTEX's job is to test this equipment, make sure it works, because we don't want problem with the customers later on. 3 years rosak. Okay, so you cannot simply use any gadgets from the internet you buy, because sometimes they are not certified. They are fake products and all. So SANTEX's commercial has been authorized to look into those products, test them, and can use for homes. You cannot simply buy any gadgets at home, because the last 2 years during the pandemic, I tested this. Then I got my gate burned down. My gate motor burned down. I used the wrong device. Then after that, my aircon burned down. So I didn't know the technology. That time nobody teach me. Now we almost master the technology. We want to share it to Sarawak. Okay.
So basically, it's a tried, tested,
Yeah.
certified, accredited.
Yeah.
product.
We have the training program called the Smart Building here that Premier just launched. So.
I just want to know, how long will this collaboration be happening between SHEDA and SAHAJA?
As long as it takes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that one is a destiny that God decided. Just like any marriage,
Yeah.
if we can keep this marriage together, it will be for a lifetime.
Yeah. As long as it lasts.
Yeah.
Any challenges in, any challenges in terms of becoming the pioneer of producing these smart home systems?
Actually, okay, thank you. Very good question. Actually, CENTEXS itself will be doing it all the time. So we don't have any program that other people have. We always partner with the big guys, and it can work. So for the last 7 years, we have 64 technology programs right now. We're only 7 years old, and we can do it. So we thought with SHEDA right now, the top management of SHEDA, they also are very passionate people. They want to grow. This is the main thing that we need as partners. Not about money. This is about our passion for what we want to achieve. So that's going to overcome everything else. Right? If you want it, you get it. Okay? In this world, it's about your desire. If you want to succeed, you'll succeed. If you think that you will fail, no problem. If you will fail anyway. So in our case, our partnership here, people are passionate about it. It will be successful anyway. Yeah.
And if I may add, for your question, as far as SHEDA is concerned, we are very passionate at what Honaji said. Okay, we are very passionate, and we know that being one of the stakeholders and industry players, it is very, very important for us to be part of the ecosystem, so that we can bring Sarawak into real digitalization, where hopefully no one is left behind, like what I've emphasized. And the second thing that I would like to impress upon everybody is that, of course, being like SHEDA coming into this, then it won't be easy. Of course, when you want to get money from people's pocket, it won't be easy, right? But now we're telling people that it gives you all the benefit. However, for whatever it is that we do, being a pioneer, there will always be hindrances and stuff like that. But that does not mean that we cannot take the first step to do the correct thing and move towards the correct direction as aspired by our state government. So I think everybody has a part to play. So let's say, I will even encourage everybody, one of you to help us to promote this and so that nobody is left behind, because the world is really changing. If we cannot even get the community to move with us, then it will be a big problem. So we would like to introduce it to the house where everybody is in touch. You stay in a house for so many hours, then your anak will get involved. Your old parents who are not exposed will also be exposed, so that every strata of the society will be touched by it. Thank you.
Okay. So finally, this effort is actually a Sarawak-made product, proudly Malaysian. Okay. So you guys support us on this to promote. Okay. Yeah.
One more, but this is for SENTEXS. Correct me if I'm wrong, recently SENTEXS has opened Lab 6. Which is the esports.
6 labs here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is the esports lab.
Yep.
So my question is, how can SENTEXS use the lab as a platform to create career opportunities in the esports industry, mainly for the youth and the media?
Right. The esports lab actually, we understand that a lot of people, most of the gadget people, they love gaming. Gaming. Basically, I'm a gamer too. So, because I'm a gamer, we have an esports lab. But anyway, we thought gaming can be a job. That means people have to study other programs here. We have 64 programs. Only one is digital programs like Huawei, all this program. But they must undergo this training in order for them to play in the lab. So once they finish the training, they get a job, they can play for the rest of their life. We're not stopping people from playing, but we want them to have employment. So employment and gaming, these are the fantastic formula. Because if you have only gaming, no parents will allow this. Okay, so we put a e-sports lab here. We get the best people in Sarawak, the president of the e-sport, to coach our people, to train them to become SUKMA champions or ASEAN champion. Probably one day we can have Grand Prix e-sport in Sarawak. We have that vision. But it has to be accompanied with technical training. It has to be digital training, so people have a job and they can participate in sports. Otherwise, you cannot survive. You play sports game all the time, nobody's going to feed you. So this is the formula that we have here. Go to training, then you can play games until 12 o'clock at night. And we can prepare people not only for the industry but also for national interest to win the SUKMA game, ASEAN game, Grand Prix games. So we have the club here, the Sarawak Association for Gamers, as our partner to train them. Yeah. Because I play game, but I'm not as good as the gamers. We play here. We play Dota. All this. So we have 4 or 5 games here, tailor-made for SUKMA and ASEAN. We hope CENTEXS will produce many of these high-caliber people in the gaming industry. Yeah.
And did you know that's currently the biggest esports tournament is going to be held in Singapore?
Yeah.
International.
Yes. I hope one day we can do such event here.
Because like in countries like China, Korea, and America, the GDP is based on esports.
Yes, yes. It's a $250 billion industry. So big.
In Korea alone, it's around 18.8 trillion.
So I'm a gamer, my son is a gamer, so we know what the business is all about. Okay? Yeah, in the family. Okay? So thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.